What is going on, everybody? It is Most Hated Chapo back with another video, and in today's video, it's gonna be the craziest room trip I've ever fucking had in my life. And today, today's story isn't gonna necessarily just involve normal shrooms. It's gonna be a shroom bar that I got off my plug. And so, how this day started is, so every day I'd wake up. I'd I'd of course have a cart with me, cause it ain't school if you ain't got a cart with you. So what we did is every day I would take these tiny little like pliers, like needle nose pliers, and I on the bottom of an Excel marker you could pop the bottom of an Excel marker out, right, like the little cap to that holds like the ink inside, and you could dump the ink out, and then you could roll roll up some paper towels and put the paper towels in and put like a little piece at the bottom to protect like your cart from touching the tip of ink, so you can you can still use the expo marker till it dries out, right? So I just put a card in there and I close the expo, like the little thing that we just pulled up and down. So there was no way of like them being able to, like, if we got searched, we'd be cool, you feel me? And grab the classic wires, because it isn't a day of school without wires. So every day it'd be first period, and I would go to this teacher that everyone went to. Everyone would just get passes from him to skip every class. So I went to my first period and I just went to his class for the whole period and just got a pass back, and that was it. I just sat there just smacking wires in his class the whole time, and when I tell you he didn't care, he didn't care. But so second period comes around, same thing. Just, it's my study hall, so I'm just going to his class, just smacking wires with all my buddies. And then third period, same thing. Fourth period, same thing. I would just get a, besides my seventh period math, because I actually like the teacher and I enjoy math. So every day besides seventh period, leave his, I would just leave to his class. You feel me? And so that's what I did. But it was fourth period whenever my friend Michael is in my class, and he was a big shroom head along with me. So my my plug, who I completely forgot about till he hit me up, because my main plug was locked up at the time, but my main plug sent me this plug a long time ago, if that makes any sense. But I forgot about this plug because I never hit him up, and like I just completely forgot about it for a few months. And so I hit him up, and he's talking about like, yo, I got these shroom bars in, they're fucking fire. Like, if you want any, I can run you some deals. So I'm like, bet. I'm gonna try a few because my friends want some. So like, we're just all gonna go in and grab a few, right? So, um, and the end of the day comes, and we get to the school, and I'm just chilling at my crib, smoking a blunt, waiting for Michael to be ready, 'cause he did track. Waiting for him to be able to track practice everything. It was a Friday, of course, 'cause I don't know, but I don't enjoy tripping when there's like a school day the next day, unless like I know I don't have like school that day, if that makes any sense. And so, Friday, it's the end of the school day Friday, and I'm just chilling, waiting for Mas to like get out of school and be done with track, so I can go over to his crib, and I hit up John, the plug with the shroom bars, and I hit up him, and he's talking about, I could pull up. I'm like an hour out. Just give me the queue and I could pull up, and I give him the queue, and then Moss hits me up probably like 3 or 4 minutes after I hit John up, and Michael's talking about, yo, do you want to come over? Free crib, blah 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 blah, like slide through. And he was like, I was like, bet, like I'm gonna slide through, and he was like, bet, I'm gonna get you a ride, just send me your address, right? I was like, huh? Send me your, and I was like, okay, it's probably just gonna be someone like that's never been in my crib picking me up. But nah, he's like, nah, I'm gonna get you a lift. And I was like, okay, like, do you want money for the lift? And he was like, nah, the lifts are free. I was like, what do you mean? And there was this code, COVID, it was meant for like, it was meant for college students that were transporting for our community college, like, from their house to like the community college or whatever during COVID times. It basically gave them a free ride within 20 miles and it paid tip and everything. So we just abuse this code just 24/7. We just constantly get free Lyft rides wherever we work, just constantly, right? And so I get over to my friend Michael's crib, and Michael has a fucking fat, just nice ass crib in this just nice ass neighborhood, and just Mercedes in the driveway, all that. I get the lift and I go to Michael's, and like this was my first time ever going to Michael's crib. Like I've never been to his crib. This is like my first time really ever hanging out with that friend group. And so I go to Michael's crib and we're just chilling inside. I tell the plug like, yo, I went over to my friend's house. Just pull up here. It's maybe like a 2 minute difference, probably even closer than where I live. He's like, bet, I'll be there in however long he said. And so me and Michael were just chilling on the couch, just watching, fuck, I don't even know, probably some, this dude really loved Rick and Morty. We were probably watching some Rick and Morty. And so we're just chilling there watching some Rick and Morty, and John finally pulls up. And I go out to John, and he, I don't want to get too specific, but he has this fucking Honda, and like this Honda's completely pimped out. Like I'm telling you, like there's so many things in that thing that like you can just do like a button and it'll lift shit up. You feel me? Like some real shit. And so like whenever I give him the money and like he gives me the shroom bars, like he does a little button thing and it lifts up this thing where he just puts the money, and I'm just like, holy fuck, like what did I just witness? So of course I shake him up like, yo, nice meeting you. Probably be through again. I'm gonna let you know how these are. And yeah. So I get out and I go back into Michael's crib and I show Michael these. We go down to his basement because that, keep this in mind. He said this is quote unquote the parent, like the place where his parents don't go. And keep in mind, he's African, and like his parents are very, like very ethnic, and they don't like alcohol in their house. They don't like weed in their house. Like they don't like any of that. They don't like anything like that, and and yeah, they really care about their crib and all that, right? So Ma said that like this is one of the places that his parents don't really go, and so I'm like, okay, just going with what he says, and we go down to the basement and we're just chilling. We're looking at these shroom bars, and they were salted caramel chocolate, milk chocolate, and boy, the bitches looked so fire. And we were originally waiting for uh, this kid to get off work, and like all three of us were gonna we all were gonna trip, and like we were planning on to this party later this night, but that party ended up not happening for me. But we'll get into that. And so I I end up just eating one piece, right? And I give Michael a piece, and we just go upstairs and we continue to watch Rick and Morty. We're cool, and maybe like 10 minutes goes by, and we're gonna call my friend Ralph pulls up with this girl named Julia. So Julia and Ralph are here. We're just smoking out front, and I go downstairs and grab the shroom bars to show Ralph, and Ralph and Julia, and we ended up eating another piece. So each piece it says is 0.33 grams of shrooms. So two pieces is 0.66 of a gram of shrooms. You feel me? And so I ended up now I'm 2 pieces deep, and we're just chilling, just smoking. We're all just talking about just some bullshit. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no. I remember what we were talking about. We were talking about whether we could make this Nerf gun into being able to shoot like BBs and shit like that. Just 'cause we were just curious, just talking about that shit. And so then next thing we know, we go downstairs and we're playing his Xbox, and we just pop on GTA because that's the only thing that he had. And so we're just chilling there playing GTA, and then our friend named Jimmy hits us up, and Jimmy's like, "Yo, got pull up, and, like just chill, blah 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 blah." So Jimmy pulls up, and then we're just chilling. I'm showing Jimmy, cause Jimmy's a cool friend of mine, and like I just like to show like Jimmy was always curious because he would trip constantly, and like he would always just like to see like new products that were around the area, if you know what I mean. So I was just showing Jimmy the Shroom bars, and I was like, bro, like I've never seen nothing like this. Like this shit's wild, I won't lie. And at this point, I wasn't really feeling it. And uh, Jimmy gets a call by Frank probably about like an hour later. It's probably around like 8:30 p.m. at this point. Jimmy gets a call from our friend named Frank, and Frank's like, "Yo, bro, I'm fucking piss faced drunk, bro. I don't even know where he was at, but he was somewhere, and he was just piss faced drunk, and he couldn't drive home, so he needed Jimmy to pick him up. So Jimmy goes pick up Frank, and it's just me, Ralph, Julia, Bob. I mean, I'm fucking stupid. It's me, Julia, Ralph, and Michael. I don't know where Bob came in from, but yeah, we're just chilling there. We're just continuing to play GTA 5, like everything's cool. And then I decide, yo, I want to dose more. Like I'm not really feeling anything. So I decide, you know what, Mas, you're gonna take like 3 pieces, and I'm gonna take. I'm pretty sure I took. So I was already off 2. I ended up taking 2.3 grams in total. So that would be another 5 pieces. Yeah, we're just gonna go with 5 pieces. So like right now I'm 7 pieces deep, and I'm just like, okay, we're cooling. So they ended up talking about like putting a movie on, and Jimmy gets back with Frank at this point, and Frank and Jimmy get into Frank's piss face drunk, bro. Like can barely walk. We have to go help him to the couch, and he's just chilling there, right? Uh, he's just chilling there next to Jimmy and pretty sure Ralph. And I was over on the other couch with Julia and Michael. And so at this point, we throw on a movie, and I just specifically remember, once I started to like just start feeling a little different and like knowing that like I'm starting to come up, this dude Michael decides to throw on a Killer Pickle show. I specifically remember like this Killer Pickle show. It's a cartoon. It's like in the same genre because he was on Hulu. It's in the same genre as um like pickle. Bro, I'm so slow. Rick and Morty and all that. I'm just high as hell. My bad, guys. The Killer Pickle movie or show, whatever the fuck it is in the same category as Rick and Morty and like all those types of shows, you know. I remember him throwing that on, and I'm like, no, bro, like, what in the fuck are we watching? Like, bro, I do not want to watch some Killer Pickle. So I grabbed the remote, and I ended up picking the episode Rio. I mean the movie Rio. You like with all the birds and everything. And as soon as I hit this, bro, bro, the shrooms just completely just kick in, bro, and I'm just sitting here just amazed with the colors. The colors are just going different, bro. And I'm just sitting here just listening to the bird music, just feeling like I'm entering heaven damn near, bro. And I'm just sitting here just watching like cause the start of Rio. I don't remember which Rio it was. I think it was the first one, but the start of Rio starts with just like a cutscene of just birds and just nature and just so many vibrant and just violet colors and just birds and just I don't even know what type of music it is, but there's some type of music, and I was just sitting there just fully immersed into that for I can't even tell you like the start of the movie had to have been like 15 minutes long because I was sitting there for at least I got recorded for like 5 minutes, but I was sitting there for probably a five like it felt like 20 minutes for real talk like while I was tripping. It felt like 20 minutes I was just sitting there completely just immersed into there. But my buddy my buddy Ralph, it was either Ralph or Frank. Ralph or Frank sat there just crying of laughter, recording me just fully immersed into me watching Rio. And it was the funniest shit ever. Like after the fact, just thinking back at it, like that was the funniest shit ever. I was just completely immersed into a fucking bird movie. And so at that point, I don't know. This man, Michael, said that like he didn't really feel anything till later that night. Like once I went to that party, but I'll get into that. So, like, right after that happened, like, everything just got super, like, everyone just started, like, we cut off the movie and everyone was just talking again, and yeah, everything just got, like, so loud. And, like, it was just too much, I didn't, it was just too much for my liking, you know? And so I ended up just going over to the dark ass corner, like, the dark ass other side of the room, laying on the couch. Because the way this basement set up, as soon as you walk down the steps to the left, if you keep going to the left all the way down, it's a bathroom. If you go to the left and pop a right, it's a room. And when you go down the steps, you pop a right, it's just a big ass room that's kind of like an L shape, and there's a couch. It's like looking from when you step down off the stairs. And then to the right, there was the two couches and the TV, and then there was like a little bed right there. And then there was like an office room and like a storage closet that like went under the steps. And so I'm on the couch that you see as soon as you walk down the steps and like you turn to your right and like you look directly at like you're just looking forward and like there's just a black leather couch. I was laying on that just sitting there on YouTube trying to like immerse myself into the YouTube video, but like the sounds were just too much, and I was just sitting there just like I can't even explain it. I was just so overwhelmed, but like I couldn't like I don't know, and like I look over at Michael like after Michael was talking to them like where the fuck did Paul go? And they were like, "Oh, Paul's just chilling over there." And so at that point like I go over to Michael and I'm like, "Yo, like I want to go to this party in like an hour, but like I need to go. Like I I'm just feeling so overwhelmed and like just I'm not having a really good trip, you know? So at this point, he's he's like trying to figure a way to get them out as like along with like me afterwards. Just try to get like see if he can get them out while he figures out a way to get me like home, you know? Just so like everything just kind of was like less overwhelming, right? And so he does that. Ralph and them went to go spray paint something abandoned. I can't remember. And the other ones, uh, I can't remember what they did, but they ended up going like doing something fucking, pretty sure they went like exploring abandoned building or something like that. But they both ended up going to like abandoned shit or some shit like that, right? And, so at that point, like everyone leaves. Michael's trying to find me a Uber home, and I mean a Lyft, cause we had the codes for the Lyft, and like he's saying that like the closest driver, it's like a 45-minute wait, blah 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 blah. So I'm gonna try to. Like, he said that he's gonna try to find some other people, and at this point, like I'm texting like my sister, like yo, can you pick me up? Text my other sister like, yo, can you pick me up? I text my buddy. I'm not even gonna say his name, but I text like one of my closest homies. I'm like, yo, like, is there any physical way like you can pick me up right now? Like anyway, like I'll throw you some cash or whatever, bro. I just need it. And I ended up hitting up somebody else, and I was like, yo, like, can you take me home? None of that. Nobody, nobody responds back, right? And so I'm chilling downstairs, right? And my my book bag's next to me, right? I'm on. So if when you go down the stairs and you pop a right uh and you like pop another right and like you're just looking into that big ass room, like where it starts to go to the L, the two couches, the farthest couch against the wall I was chilling at, and my backpack was like next to me on the couch, right? And it was closed. And then to my right, like next to the backpack, like on the other side, was like a bag full of alcohol, right? And all I hear is Michael's dad come down, and he yells, "Where's Michael?" And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he went upstairs, see if. Oh yeah, I remember. I ordered like $40 worth of fucking DoorDash, right? And none of that shit came, bro. And they never refunded me for it, bro. It was probably the worst experience I've ever had. Fuck DoorDash. I'm just gonna say that right now. Fuck DoorDash. Big middle fingers to you, DoorDash. But anyway, yeah, I was like, Michael went upstairs to go see if the food was at the door, cause I ordered some DoorDash, like, and I ordered some Taco Bell. He was seeing it was there, like, did you happen to just, like, see any food when he walked inside, like, by the door? And he was like, no. And then he yells for Michael, and he goes to walk upstairs, and then he comes back down and he looks at me and he's like, you know that there's no smoking, alcohol, or anything in the house, right? And I was like, yeah, like we don't have no alcohol, we don't have like we don't got nothing with us, right? And he looks at me and says, what's in that bag? I was like, just some just some normal drinks, like some sweet tea, you feel me? And he's like, what's in that bag? I was like, just some drinks. And he at this point he's walking up, and like I was just scared, tripping absolute sack, sitting there, not not wanting to go through my bag. Because if he goes in my bag, there is fucking like 8 Shroom bars left that I have to give to my friends the next day. And it was just the scariest moment ever because I also had some weed in there and I didn't want him because he knows what weed looks like and definitely knows what weed smells like. I was like, I do not need him to go in my jar and see that I have a fucking half zip of some fucking fire in that bitch. Go in my bag and see that I have some fucking absolute fire ass Shroom bars that I'm tripping absolute dog piss off of right now. So I just say, oh, it's alcohol. The people who just left it here, right? And so he gets all pissed and he grabs the alcohol bag, right? And he tells me I need to leave. And I'm like, okay, like let me grab my shit. And at that point, Moss comes downstairs. And he goes upstairs and tells Michael that, yo, your friend needs to leave. Sorry, bub. There was alcohol in the house. I, we don't like alcohol. And then at this point, he was also screaming at Moss in another language and also yelling at me in another language. So exactly what he said, I will not be able to ever tell you guys because I don't speak whatever language that he was yelling at me in, right? And so at this point, like he's yelling at Moss, and Moss comes downstairs. He walks upstairs, and Moss is like, like, what happened? And I just explained all that back, like what just happened. Like your dad came downstairs, was cool at first, and then started pressing me, blah 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 blah. And then when he walked towards me, I didn't want him to go in my bag and find the bigger picture and get you way more in trouble, and me never be able to be allowed back at the house. And So he was like, yeah, that was honestly pretty fucking smart of you. And so at this point, he brings me upstairs to his bedroom, and while he finds a ride, because at this point the lift wasn't. He canceled the lift because the lift wasn't gonna be here quick enough. Like his dad's flipping out. I just got kicked out the crib, right? And so he tells me to sit on his bed, but I'd say I'm not about to sit on his bed because I feel like his dad's gonna come upstairs and look in here, right? So he is like, I'm talking like his bed frame's like 5 feet off the ground, 6 feet off the ground, so I can easily just like chill next to his bed and slide underneath it, right? And so he turns off his light, and I'm chilling right there, right? And he tells me to wait there, just the ride's coming, just wait here. He's gonna be here in a minute, just chill. And all I hear is Michael's dad yell like, "Where did he go?" And Michael's like, "Oh, he just left. He just left in that car that just pulled off, right?" And Michael's dad walks upstairs, starts looking in the room. So I slide under the bed, right? And he does not see me. He walks out the room, and we're cool. And then Michael's Michael got the ride here finally, and Michael's brother friend dabbed me up, and I thought I was so high that I thought they were trying to help me up, bro. And Michael's brother understood, cause me and Michael's brother were cool as fuck at this point, and like he understood, cause he tripped hella and hella hard multiple times. So he was just laughing his ass off, and the other dude was just looking at me weird, right? And I'm I'm tripping sack, so I end up I grab all my shit, and Michael leads me out to the car, and he gets in it, and we're chilling. And Michael's dad ended up just giving him back the alcohol and saying like, "No, out of my house," and like just come back for Monday, right? Just come back late Sunday, so you're here for Monday, right? So Michael basically just got kicked out of his crib for the whole weekend, partly because of me, but partly not. So this man Michael, uh, so the driver we're gonna call, um, what's a good name? You know, because I said Bob earlier, we're gonna call him Bob. My this dude named Bob. This was like the first time I seen him in probably like 2 years. I knew him through baseball and all that. Uh, Bob Bob ended up like having asked Michael. Michael had to lead Bob to where I lived, and at this point, like Bob was sitting here talking to me, and he was like, "So, what's your plans for the future?" And I'm sitting here just tripping sack, and I don't know, I'm just like, life insurance. And he was like, "Okay, yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool, right?" And I was like, "What do you want to be like? What do you want to do when you graduate?" He's like, "Real estate." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Real estate's pretty fucking good. Like, if you can actually like do it correctly, get in the right areas, etc. Right? Just the smallest straight to it sentences you could fucking get." And at this point, I said that I was tripping the hardest I ever fucking tripped in my life to him, but he didn't hear that or whatever. So until like 2 months later, bro never realized that I was tripping absolute fucking balls twacked out. So um then once he gets to my crib, uh we're chilling there, and I dab everybody up, and I get out, and he starts to pull off, and I'm sitting there in the middle of my street. And keep in mind that my street is a pretty fucking main street. You feel me? Like, there's a good amount of traffic that goes on at all times of day, and at this point it's like 10:30, 11, and I'm spinning in circles looking for which house is mine. And once I see my dad's truck, I'm like, "Oh, this is my crib." And I walk up, and it takes me like probably like this whole thing probably took me like 2 minutes, like just looking around looking for my crib, walking up to my crib, putting my garage door code in, closing the garage, and going upstairs. Probably took me like a solid 2 minutes. And so at that point, I go upstairs and I'm just watching YouTube videos, just like I'm still tweaking fucking absolute sack for the next, I'd say probably like 2 hours, but it's an eventful. I'm just sitting there on my PlayStation 4, my PS4 Pro at the time, just sitting there just watching YouTube videos, just twacked. And that's that's all that really happened that night, or I would explain more. But y'all don't want to hear about me just fucking sitting there smoking a blunt while I'm watching fucking some form of YouTube. At this point, I'm pretty sure it was I watch these like Daisy story times, like or like stories like it's like a movie quote unquote. And bitches are absolute fire, like Cairo, JLK, and all them absolute fire videos. But anyway, uh, that wraps up my story. I hope everybody enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I will catch you on another video. Stay safe.
Overhead. Target area updated.
Bro, why the fuck are you camping upstairs? Fucking weirdo, yeah, so I just got RPG'd to death. Oh, that's you. It's Flash.
Hardpoint relocating. Stand by. Enemy UAV active. Hardpoint relocated. Secure the target area.
Kid up top in building.
We've lost them. Hostile cluster mine deployed. Hostile UAV in the area. Hardpoint. Get ready. Approaching from the rear. Capture the hardpoint. Hardpoint compromised. Secure the area. We've lost half the field. Fight back. Inside the perimeter. Enemy UAV overhead. Hardpoint compromised.
Bro, I just stuck to do with the fucking shock stick.
Enemy personnel at the hardpoint.
Good night, love you.
Confirming next hardpoint. Stand by. Enemies inside the perimeter.
One up on containers pushing over.
Area updated. Move to the hardpoint. Enemy UAV active.
Bro, there's no way. I shot that kid so many times.
Friendly UAV online.
Next to us.
Hostile chopper gunner incoming. Locating the next hardpoint. Get ready. Enemy by. Capture the hard point. Friendly UAV on station. Enemies inside the perimeter.
I'm low on ammo.
Semtex out!
Hard point compromised. Secure the area.
Dude coming in from the left, coming around.
Visual on the
Dang,
enemy.
oh my god. Behind whoever's in front of me.
Enemy UAV active. Hard point relocating. Stand by. Enemy personnel at hard point. Area updated. Move to the hard point. Confirming next hard point. Stand by. Enemies inside the perimeter. Location updated. Capture the hard point.
Bro, I'm literally spawning on an enemy. It's fucking just chilling there. Like, what?
Hostile cluster mine deployed. Enemy UAV overhead.
Whew.
Reloading!
What happened to fucking Jacob?
Hostile counter UAV overhead. Enemy UAV active. Hardpoint relocated. Stand by.
I'm low on ammo.
Hardpoint compromised.
Bro, I just shot 2 RPGs out of 1 shot. I swear to God. It literally shot 2 different ways at one time.
Reloading!
Mission compromised. We've been defeated.